I'm back. I know it's been forever since I made a video, but the stars aligned today. Not really aligned because there's literally construction going on in my house, on my roof, so you could hear it throughout. But I decided to take the time to make this highly asked for video, aka MCAT. A lot of the people that subscribe to my channel have been asking me about MCAT. What did I do for MCAT? What should they do for MCAT? How do they prepare for MCAT? Every question that you could possibly ask about MCAT. First thing I want to do is fully disclose that I am not a professional. Didn't get a 528 on the MCAT. I'm just your average medical student. Worked hard to get into medical school. Couldn't wait for the MCAT to be over. Just wanted to take it once, get it over, never think about it ever again. However, here I am making a vlog for you guys so that you can be successful. And, you could hear my story about it because a lot of you are very interested on what I did. Just giving you tips on how you should navigate the MCAT and what you should do and what you should not do. So again, I'm not a professional. I'm going to tell you about the resources I use. No, I'm not getting paid for telling you about them. So let's dive in. MCAT is the exam used for medical school applications. Everybody that applies to medical school in the United States needs this exam in order to apply. Well, MCAT consists of 4 sections: chemical and physical foundations, CARS, which is like the reading comprehension, bio and biochem foundations, and phys, social, and bio foundations of behavior. 4 sections. The score, the national average is a 500. The highest you could get is 528. The lowest you can get doesn't matter because you don't want to get that. And so, yeah, the MCAT, again, it's important because you need it to apply to medical school. Ideally, you want to take this exam only once because it is a very difficult exam. I'm not going to sugarcoat it. It incorporates a lot of subjects such as chemistry, biochemistry, bio, the labs portion as well. Organic chemistry is on there. Psychology is on there as well. It incorporates a lot of different things, including reading comprehension. It's a very comprehensive exam, something you need to prepare for. So I highly recommend against trying to wing it. So make sure you prepare accordingly, and this video will help you. You're not in this boat alone if you're completely terrified of the MCAT. I was completely terrified of the MCAT, but the more I learned about it and the more I learned how to prepare for it and the more I prepared myself for it, the less scared I was. Yes, on test day, I was terrified, but I went in, I took the test, I passed the test, and here I am in medical school, and this could be you. So prepare for it, be honest with yourself, face your fears, and get the ball rolling. It is January. Happy New Year's 2020. That's another reason why I did this video, because I wanted everybody that was starting to explore when am I taking MCAT, because, the upcoming cycle will open. And a lot of people test in the summer, so this is a good time to prep for it. A little bit of background about myself and what I got on the MCAT. I think it's important for me to be transparent. So a lot of people looking to take the MCAT, they want to get tips and experiences from people that were successful in the MCAT. I think I was successful in the MCAT. I was not in the 99 percentile, very far from it, but I passed and I'm in medical school. So I think I have some stuff to share. Make sure you watch other YouTube videos and read other resources about how you can score super duper duper high. In the chemical and physical foundations, I received a 124. That was my lowest scoring section. And I knew that was going to be the lowest scoring section because chemistry has always been a challenge for me. CARS, I received a 125. Bio and biochem foundations, I received a 126. And phys, social, and bio foundations of behavior, I received a 130. That was my highest section. That was in the 95th percentile. And again, my lowest section was 124, which was in the 43rd percentile. Overall, my score was a 505, which was above the national average, which was in the 66th percentile. A 505 was what I needed to decide to submit my application to medical school, because go and apply unless I got a 505, because that was FSU's average and because FSU was the top school that I wanted to attend. When you're thinking about taking the MCAT and what your goals are for the MCAT, make sure you're looking at the schools that you're applying to. Granted, you want to score the highest possible you can. However, you want to be realistic. Okay, so we're going to go ahead and get started now that I got my background out of the way. You know what I got on the MCAT. You know I'm not a professional at this. And you know I'm in medical school. So let's dive right in. When should you take the MCAT? It depends on you. It depends when you're applying to the cycle. If you're applying the upcoming cycle, you want to make sure you get it done in advance so you could submit it with your application. Now you can submit your application and send your MCAT after the fact. However, you kind of want to know what your score is when you're applying. So make sure you're looking at the dates that the application cycle opens and when the primary and secondaries are due for those schools in order to get your MCAT done in a timely manner and so you can know your score and see how competitive you stand in the pool overall. You should have also completed all the courses that it covers. So like I said, chemistry, biochemistry, bio, physics, the labs as well. Psychology is on there, reading and comprehension. You want to take the bulk of the courses that are going to be covered on this exam. And you want to learn the material as you're taking the courses in school. Don't cram. I was a huge crammer when I was in undergrad. And, you know, it came back and it bit me in the butt because I found that I had to relearn a lot of things more than refresh when I was studying for the MCAT. So make sure as you're going through the courses, you're learning and you're not just brutally memorizing things. Another thing to consider for when you're scheduling your MCAT is when you have enough time in your schedule to dedicate to studying and prepping for the MCAT. Right now it's January. If you want to take the MCAT upcoming April, make sure you're looking at your spring schedule. If you're taking a full course schedule, if you're getting involved in extracurriculars, if you're working and volunteering at the same time, shadowing, all that in between, you're not going to have enough time to dedicate to the MCAT. So, you know, you might not want to take it in April. You might want to push it to the summer. If you're going to have that gap in the summer to take time off, all you're going to do is MCAT, maybe one other thing, then, you know, you might want to take it at the end of summer. It just depends what your schedule looks like. Make sure you have ample time to prepare for the MCAT before you schedule it. However, you realize, oh, I don't have enough time, you can reschedule it, but make sure you're looking at the dates and deciding early because you do have to pay every time you reschedule. Second major point, what materials are out there and what is best for you? So there's so many materials out there to prepare for the MCAT. There's a lot that are free and there's a lot that you pay for. Find out what works best for you. People that use all types of materials. There's people that use no materials. There's people that use only free materials. There's people that use, you know, a prep course, whatnot. It depends on what works for you, and you have to do your own research to find out what you're looking for and what you need to prepare for the MCAT. There's AAMC, which is a company that makes the MCAT exam. They provide sample tests that you can purchase. Khan Academy has a bunch of videos geared towards MCAT to help you prepare, and those are free as well. Kaplan also offers MCAT materials, Princeton, Exam Cracker, UWorld, etc. So make sure you're doing your research in order to find the best resource that works for you and that fits into your budget, because I highly recommend using a lot of free resources because they're out there regardless. If you want to, like, you don't have to pay for them. And see if those work for you so you don't have to spend money. And if you find that you need a little bit more, then look into materials that you have to pay for, aka Kaplan, UWorld, Princeton, etc. Now, what did I use? I used Kaplan. I had an in-person and online type prep course, and they sent me books as well to go along with it. These are the books that I used to prep for the MCAT. These books are pretty dense. They cover literally everything that's going to be on the MCAT. Again, Kaplan does not pay me to do this. I'm just sharing what I used. So each section, you know, titled, and then they put stars next to the things that are high yield. If it has 1 star, it's probably not as high yield as others. So when I was studying for the MCAT, I was able to go ahead and cover all the high yield stuff first and then worry about stuff that's less high yield later. They have a lot of practice questions. They have a lot of videos online. There's also an in-person thing that you can do, and a teacher will go ahead and give you test strategies and they'll go through a lesson book like this, and you'll cover different topics, and they'll go through questions and tell you strategies that you can use, you know, to answer questions. The next thing is, should you use a prep course? Now, it's not necessary. Some people don't need it. You got to figure out what you're looking for, what you need to prep for the MCAT, and if the prep course is going to meet those needs. It's helpful if you don't know how to start studying, aka me. It's helpful if you need structure and you need something that forces you to study, like a good schedule to keep up with, which is what I needed. It has really good test strategies. So big thing about the MCAT is that you should, number one, really know the material that's going to be on the exam, and two, really know to take the exam. And so Kaplan was helpful for me because it gave me those test strategies about how to read paragraphs, how to narrow down answers, how to understand what the question is asking, how to look past fluffy material, how to not get tricked by the questions, etc. It also provides professional help to improve weaknesses. So there are instructors in person, or there are instructors online that you can speak to that can help you with specific things if you need specific help. And it's also a good place to have all your study materials centralized. So all the videos, books, things you need is like in one centralized place. And so the cons about prep courses are that unless you use them how they're supposed to be used, aka go according to their schedule and complete their homework exercises and watch this video that they told you to watch and do this, you know, after class review. Unless you do, you know, all that stuff, or at least most of it, it's not going to be that helpful. At least you're not going to get what you paid for. These courses are built for you to score very well, and if you don't put the time in, you're not going to get the score that you want to get. And so another big thing about these prep courses that is a con is that they can be very expensive. So look for the discounts. They do have promo codes on Black Friday, etc. Sometimes there's programs at your school, at your university, that offers discounted prep courses. And so make sure you're looking for those. I know FSU had one, so make sure you're looking for those. Next topic, how many months do you need to study? It depends when you're going to take it. So again, if you are trying to take it at the end of your spring semester, and your spring semester is full of classes and full of stuff that you need to be doing, and you don't have time to dedicate, you're probably gonna need more time to study, you know, 4 to 6 months of, you know, studying here and there. However, if you have a full summer off, and you are only doing MCAT, you can probably get 2 months of studying in and still do well on the exam. And so what did I do? I graduated in May of 2018, and I decided, you know, I planned in advance that I was going to use that summer to study for the MCAT. I had literally 10 weeks from the time that I graduated to the time that I decided to start my master's program. I had 10 weeks to study and take the exam. And so it wasn't until 1.5 weeks in that I was actually in my groove. So I don't really like to say that I studied a full 10 weeks. I would say I studied like 8 solid weeks in the groove doing full-blown MCAT studying. The total amount of hours that I spent studying, because I logged them, because I found it was useful to keep myself accountable, I studied 326 hours. A lot of research prior, and a lot of people recommended studying at least 300 to 350 hours. So that's why I aimed for 300 to 350 hours. How many hours should you study per day? I studied depending on what my schedule looked like. I only had one commitment during the time that I was taking my MCAT, but I was at home with family and I had a birthday or this and that. It just depends. So I had a full calendar going, and I scheduled how many hours per day in order to meet my goal of 350 hours. And so I had 10 weeks. I divided that by 350, and that's how many hours I was going to study per day. And then whenever I didn't meet my goal, I would roll over those hours, and so I was still trying to meet my goal. A big thing is avoid burning yourself out. So build a realistic schedule. 12 hours a day, 7 days a week is not realistic. You will burn yourself out, and it's not going to be efficient for your studying, and you're going to want to jump off a cliff before you even take the MCAT. Give yourself study breaks, schedule study breaks, make a realistic schedule and stick to it. I had a physical calendar I scheduled all my days on the calendar like that, and I would see it every morning when I would wake up. So that's something I would recommend, having a physical schedule, not a mental schedule, a physical schedule or calendar with realistic goals, with the amount of hours, physical goals of what you're gonna accomplish every day, etc. What else? Learn how to say no. If you're going to be at home with your family, around friends, learn how to say no during your dedicated MCAT study time, because there is going to be times that people are like, oh, we're going to go get drinks. Oh, we're going to hang out. Oh, we're going to watch a movie. Oh, come to dinner. Oh, you know, my mom, there was so many times that my mom was jumping in the pool, literally sitting to where I was studying. She's like, just come in for a little bit, blah, blah, blah. No. 3 hours here, 3 hours there adds up. We gotta learn how to say no. Now that I've covered all that stuff, know the structure of the exam. So regardless if you get a prep course or not, this is available online for free on the AAMC website. If you're not familiar with the website and you are a pre-medical student, go look at the website because it's super important. It has a lot of resources and you should be familiar with it. Know what every section entails, know how long the sections are, know how long the exam is, know the breaks, know it all. Like literally know everything you can possible about the exam. What scores the universities that you're applying to require, etc. You want to know as much as possible going into the exam because that's going to maximize the chances of you performing well on the exam. The best thing to do is learn as you go in your pre-medical courses or your prerequisites, and then using your dedicated study to refresh. Next thing, practice. Practice like crazy. You want to mimic the exam as much as possible. So you want to do real full-length exams, which is like, I believe, 7 hours each, which can be provided online through the AAMC website. They provide sample full-length exams. Also, prep courses provide full-length exams. When I took Kaplan, they had full-length exams, more than enough that I could use to practice. Well, the average, I believe, when I read this specific study, they recommended 6. You do, the more prepared you're going to be, so don't limit yourself. I also highly recommend doing a diagnostic exam before you start studying to identify the weaknesses that you have. What a diagnostic study is basically half a full-length exam that takes you through the 4 different sections and gives you a generated score of where you're at. It gives you you can see where you're standing. When I first took my diagnostic exam, I was at a 494. Took 6 full-length exams in which I got 491, 496, 495, 494, 495, and 498. So that was a huge thing for me when I was taking the MCAT. Every time I took full-length exams, I didn't score where I wanted to be, and I was very frustrated with it. We're back, and Walter's on my lap because he is terrified of what's going on upstairs. Next pointer, review your full-length exams extensively. You want to literally go question by question and review what you got wrong, why you got it wrong. If it's a constant trend that you keep getting this same topic wrong or this same type of question wrong, then you want to go ahead and explore why you keep getting it wrong and make sure you practice that so you learn how to get it right. Whenever I would get questions wrong or whenever I would not know something, I would make flashcards. So, and then I would write the section that it had to do with. At the time, this was how I learned. So I did make a lot of flashcards. Reviewing your full-length exams is a huge deal. It's one of the best predictors of boosting your score. So highly recommend that you do that. Focus on your weaknesses, but don't neglect what you're comfortable at. So if you're not good at chemistry, keep practicing that chemistry. And I did keep practicing my chemistry, but chemistry is just hard for me. So plan ahead, make a schedule, and stick to it. This is an exam you want to get over with, and you don't want to look back at it. So make sure whatever you set as your schedule, it's realistic and you can stick to it, because you don't want to take this exam multiple times. If you need to take it again, you want to show to schools that you made a huge improvement. And you want to be able to talk about that in your interview as well, because they'll ask you. If you are a retaker of the MCAT exam, you want to go ahead and be honest with yourself and see where you went wrong, and make sure you're focusing on your weaknesses in order to improve and get a better score the next time around. That tends to be a common question when you interview. They want to know, you know, what changed between the first time you took it and the second time you took it. Don't be afraid to change your study habits, even if it's right in the middle of your whole study schedule. Some things work for chemistry and some things work for physics, and some other strategies work for bio. It just depends what works for you and what topic you're covering and what you're trying to learn. So don't be afraid to change your study habits. Schedule time to relax and sleep very well before the test. The test is very long. You don't want to pull an all-nighter. You don't want to study extensively the day before. Eat right and exercise during your dedicated study time, because it's going to help you feel good. It's going to make your brain work better. It's going to give you more energy. And in the end, it's going to give you better outcomes on your MCAT. If you're dragging yourself through the mud every morning when you're studying for MCAT, you're going to drag yourself through the mud on the day of the MCAT. So make sure you're taking care of yourself and your well-being. This is just one exam. You're going to take multiple exams in your future medical career, and it's just habits that you have to start to develop. My final point ever in this video is MCAT is one of many things that can determine your acceptance. Take it very seriously, but also make sure you're building your application to be well-rounded. Schools are switching towards a holistic review of applications, and so they want to see that you're a well-rounded person, that not only can you conquer the MCAT, but you're very well involved in the community, you're a leader, etc. I did use this survey from Johns Hopkins to basically prepare myself for the MCAT, kind of like this video. I think it was a really good structure, and I'll go ahead and tag it in the video as well. The last thing I want to do is I'm actually looking to get these MCAT books off my hands. Full disclosure that there is a little bit of writing in them, but they're pretty new and they're free. Just hoping to bless somebody out there. So I'm doing a giveaway for all my subscribers, all my followers, and all my viewers. If you view but you don't subscribe, I don't know why. The more of these things that you complete, the higher the chance there is that you'll win the giveaway. So subscribe to my YouTube channel, share this on your story, tag your friends, you know, tag your pre-med friends that are actually gonna benefit from this. Don't tag Bob, who has no interest in going into medicine, because this book set is useless to Bob, who doesn't want to go into medicine. So tag your friends that are pre-med and that can utilize these books, and DM me telling me your story and how this giveaway will help you succeed. Okay? So once you complete those items, I will announce a winner. So again, thank you for taking the time to watch my video. I really hope you benefited in some way from it. If you know somebody else who's pre-med, share this video with them, because I really think I shared some tips that will be helpful on how to navigate the MCAT, or at least how to get started and learn about what the MCAT is and what it entails. Don't forget to like and subscribe and comment below. Let me know what y'all think. I know it took forever for me to get this video done, but I really hope you enjoyed it, and I love you all.